Welcome back to the real Craig Gatto. Sorry about that technical difficulty. How is everybody in the chat? Let's get over to the chat. Cinnamon Girl, how are you? Chris Gorky, Matty Boy, everybody that's here. Tommy Sticks, thank you for popping in. Have a great show. Um, everybody who's here. William, thank you. Brooklyn's in the house for sure. With no further ado, let's bring in my main man, Mr. Jimmy D. And then if you guys want Dave T, always good to see you. After I bring Jimmy in, we get through tonight. I'd like to chat. If you guys want to stick around, I'd like to just say a couple things, but let's have a great time tonight and have a great conversation with our friend. Barbara, welcome. My man, Jimmy.
How are you, Craig? I look too studious. Let me just remove these for a minute. I look too studious. Anyway, how you been, my friend?
I'm awesome, pal. How about yourself?
Well, I'm doing better now that I'm talking to a real pal and a real man. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Jimmy. It means the world to me, about that. Thank you so much. Coming from you means a lot. Especially we were speaking earlier about, things that we see around us and maybe we're raised a certain way with certain things, and maybe some won't agree, with some of the things, but about men being men and just behaving a certain way. Anyway, it's great to see you, man. You're looking good as always. I want to know because I know I'm going to hear it in the chat. Kelly, how are you? I'm going to try to talk to Jimmy. You'll see we're missing a person tonight. We'll talk about that later. Um, I want to ask you a question, Jim, before we get into anything. People are going to think, because I always got like gruffy, but they're going to think I shaved only because you came in. So they're going to think we're like, we're trying to put a crew back together. Because, we had to shave in that thing, right? But I want you to know, it wasn't because you were coming on. It was just, I said, I wasn't feeling good. Let me clean up a little bit. Is that, you buy that or no?
Well, I always shave because we're not allowed any facial hair. That's one rule. So, because they believe that the light that you chose should the. I remember I was with Pete Gotti one night. We were again on Knapp Street near the Randazzo's, and right across the street is like a pier. There's all boats that were parked there. And as we're walking, he's walking, grabbed my arm, and he's talking to me. And a van came by, and he says, see that van with the dark window? He goes, smile for the camera. He goes, you'll get used to it. He goes, they're always out here. He said. He said, just stick with your guy. He says, you're doing real good. He said. So it meant a lot to me because it's nice to know that that's JG's brother telling me. But actually, at the time, it was we were there to see little Nicky Carrazzo at the time. He was the acting boss who I was introduced to that night.
That's awesome. I didn't mean to sidetrack that, but I just brought up the shaving thing because I heard it when I left the house tonight. Oh, here he goes. He's shaving again. Look out. That means something bad's happening. No, no, no. No, everything's good. I'm just doing a video. So it must have been that whenever I was always clean shaven, that meant I wasn't coming home for a couple of days or something was going to happen. Whatever. Anyway, this
Right.
is about
You
you,
had to
brother.
change your appearance, right?
That's right, brother. What I want to do tonight, Jeff, if we can, with the chat loves you. Everybody loves you. Tommy Sticks, thanks for being here. Dave T, everybody. Jimmy loves you guys all. I try to hit him with some questions and stuff. Maybe we'll do a Q&A
How,
tonight.
how are you,
How's everyone in
Tony?
the chat, Barbara? Everyone in the
Yeah,
chat?
she's here. She's
Awesome.
here. She's very attentive.
Awesome. You know what? People love hearing the just the raw stuff, And what I'd like to do tonight is if we can, I think some things we could go further into detail with. Like, I know we've had these conversations, but I'd like you to share them with our chat, our group, our community. Um, like if you were on the road traveling, or you're doing whatever you got to do wherever it is. You were making clear wherever something was good, you'd be there, no matter what state it was. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Were there any good capers? Were any like certain types of stores or areas? I heard a little something about Cooperstown, New York. You want to share some any capers?
Yeah, yeah. When I was with my friend from Boston, I was telling you stories how we used to rob stores. It could be a pharmacy, it could be a liquor store, it could be. He was so smart, like that, and I learned so much from him. We could be in a stationery store. It was weird. He'll tell you. He'll say, get over there. He'll say, get that lady. Tell her you didn't bring your glasses. Let her read you some of the passages. Tell her you need a sympathy card, a get well card, and a congratulatory card or whatever. And she would be reading the passages for me. Meanwhile, he's sneaking in the back, robbing the place. It was so funny, but there was one particular place where we were doing very well. It was a week. We were ending up one of the weeks working. We went to Cooperstown, New York, where the Baseball Hall of Fame is.
Yeah, no.
Now, and there you have, there was a place called Mickey's Palace, I think it was called. And it was named after Mickey Mantle, naturally, who's in the Hall of Fame. So there was all these cars, really expensive. This was the day that Reggie Jackson was sworn into the Baseball Hall of Fame. So it was very busy, hustle and bustle. This place, they removed all the Reggie Jackson rookie cars, and they were going to make new higher prices on them. So they were all out of the plaques, the plexiglass plaques where you have four screws that holds the car together, so it can't get damaged and the corners stay nice and sharp. Uh, there was a case where a glass case, and they had a ball on top. It was signed by Babe Ruth, and down on the bottom, like the second or third shelf on the bottom shelf, were four cards in particular that were really worth money. One of them was a pop-up card. It's called, where you bend it and it like you almost make it look like it's 3D, where the guy is actually standing in front of you. Remember that was Hank Greenberg, which was a famous pitcher or whatever, or ball player. And then we got, naturally, my man, he grabs the Mickey Mantle rookie card, which was from, I think it was 51 or 50. Yeah, yeah. Now that thing just went for over $1 million, or no, 12 million. They did it at Sotheby's for this guy. I happen to know, my mom knows the family of the guy's daughter who married into this family. The guy's a doctor. I forget his name, but he bought the card for like 12. Had we hung on to that card till now, but this is back in '94, we got 30,000 for it at the time, because the Beckett's book, when you break it down, it'll tell you all the cards and what they're worth. You know how many Nolan Ryan rookie cards we had? Like that year, it was 1968, and you had him and Jerry Koosman. They were together. It says All Stars. It's a baseball All Stars on it. But I had perfect cards, and that card was only going for 1,600 at the time. And Nolan Ryan, he pitched in his lifetime. He pitched 7 no hitters. So I mean, so that's about Cooperstown, which was we just while they're swearing in Reggie Jackson, we're robbing the place.
You're robbing the joint. Um,
Oh,
so
but when I told you, excuse me, Craig, when I told you about the baseball of Babe Ruth, because we always have money on us, so I'd say, excuse me. So he whispers to me, my man he goes, get them up there. You want to see that ball. So I go in my pocket. I said, listen, I'm not wasting your time. I said, see all this money I have, I'm willing to spend it. So the guy goes, okay, okay. I said, I want to see the ball though. As he's on top grabbing the ball, my man's on the bottom with his hand, and he takes the plaque of the Mickey Mantle rookie card, and he moves over two other ones in there, so you don't see an empty space. He was a genius the way he worked. That's how much I learned from this guy. And again, that was the best part about Cooperstown.
I got to ask you a question because somebody will ask this, um, and maybe you could just touch on it. Um,
Oh, I thought there was a message or something
No,
written.
it's actually something that I used to speak to my brother about. But I'm going to ask you this because somebody might be thinking this, and it has to do with Cooperstown doing robberies, however, whatever word we want to use, burglaries, whatever, taking trucks, whatever it was. I had a brother, God rest his soul, he's no longer here. He had, some would say, depending on what side you're looking at, boy, that kid is no good. And then some would say, boy, he's got balls of steel. So you understand what I'm saying. What I'm
Right.
saying, I used to ask my brother at a young age, he's 4 years older. His name was Joe. I said, Joey, you're not like afraid to go like into these places because he was crazy. He would stick up the store that was right across the street from where we were living. Like my parents weren't going to find out. They're chasing him down Golden Boulevard with a fucking stick or whatever. And he used to stick up. I was like, question to you about any hyperness, any anxiety as you're going through, running through these stores? You feeling any adrenaline?
Well, it was never the way we did it. It was never done. What we didn't even utter a curse word at nobody. It's done so smooth because it's you talk. You have to buy something to put them at ease. That's the whole thing. See, we might go all day, and it may be we're there 6 hours, and meanwhile we went in, let's say, 20 stores. Now I have to buy something, a little something. Now sometimes he would go in. He was so smart. He would point to his eyes. No, no. He says, "Go, leave. This guy's too sharp." So we would just buy a pack of gum and leave, or whatever. But what happened is you would have to spend money in each one of these stores, especially when he would be able to get into the back to keep them busy so they don't break away from you. But then we had another guy that if the guy did break away from me, like they did on certain occasions, that goes, let me check something a minute. I say, sir, where you going? I'm in a hurry. I want to get, because I want to let my guy know that he's coming there. There's danger coming. And
Absolutely.
he was so smart. He'd be coming out of the back room. Remember, like one place we were in Missouri because we went the day before to a gold convention. Each stand, everybody had like a stand, and they're selling like gold coins, gold watches, whatever. My guy reaches over with his hand, gets a box this big, like this, like about this big. Inside were six see-through plastic cylinders filled with 30 Cougarans each. So there was 30 of them. So there was what? And 5 or 6, there was like 150 or 180 Cougarans. At that time, gold was only like 300 something dollars an ounce. But
Now it's 2,000. So
we had all that money though. And so, but the next day we're in a golf pro shop in Missouri. We're in. we're in there. We look at a place because my hair and everything. My guy once told me. He said I went in the store, but he told me to leave because didn't look right. And so when I left, the owner of the place happened to talk to my guy. He goes, "Did you see that? Did you see his hair?" The way I had it when it was dark, it was always yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
So as I'm talking to the guy in the pro golf shop, I'm near the box where they have to do, like custom golf balls where they can, do like your insignia or your initials on them. So I'm talking to him about that, and then all of a sudden Jimmy was in the back. My buddy was in the back, and all of a sudden he comes out. And what happens all of a sudden as he comes out, the owner was with me, and his eye catches him. So my friend right away he pointed up to it was like a jogging outfit, like a walking suit,
Mm-hmm.
and he says, "Can you monogram these?" And he goes like this to me. He goes, "That means we have a beef." He goes, "Get the car." Like he goes like this. So I go out and said, "Oh, I'll bring my wife back. Thank you anyway." And I'm with a little Jewish guy, my little friend. You would never think he was with the show. We go in the car. We're waiting. All of a sudden, my guy comes out like in a like a half brisk, like a more picked up jog, and he gets in the car. So we come out. We're on top of an incline on a hill. and then down the bottom of the hill is the strip mall. So as, as we're going around, coming out, as I made the turn going on the main thoroughfare, which is two-way, the guy is running. And you see his tie is just blowing, hitting him in the face. And I just gunned it. We made it right to the airport just in time, just to bring the rent-a-car right back to the rental agency. And we got on the flight. We made our flight and got right home. Oh, man. And then, because the old man, the little Jew, he had to lay down in the back seat, this way, because a lot of times I learned so much because they could say, oh, yeah, there was three in the car. Now you see I'm driving, my guy is laying down, and you only see one person driving. That's key. Little things like that help you, get away with it. There was another time, listen to this, Craig. There was another time we were in Queens. We were, well, it was in Queens, but it was near the was the Greek place, like Astoria, right? Yeah, Astoria. Yeah. So we're in a place, and he's buying cold cuts there, right? But he's buying cold cuts, but he found the back door where the office was. He comes out, and he goes, oh, big one, he says. And we're standing in line. He's such a degenerate gambler, he wants to play picket, right? So he's going like this. He's showing me the wad of money this big behind the other man's back as we're standing in line to play picket. I'm saying, like, what are we doing? Let's get out of here. So anyway, he pays for his cold cuts. Meanwhile, he's got all the guy's money probably for either for the day or for the whole week, whatever it was. And so we get in the car, and then as we're leaving, the guy comes running out. My man, he's so smart. As he's running, the guy is chasing him. We knew where the car was, so he didn't want the guy to follow him to see where the car was, where he would get in. So I would get there, and then I would just pick him up, or I would rendezvous and find him. Anyway, as he's running, this is how he got away. As he's running, he's taking $100 bill, like one at a time, and like go, woof, woof. He's letting one bill go at a time. So the guy, as he's chasing him, would stop because he sees 100. He thinks that's his money, right? So, and every time he bent down to pick up another 100, my man got further and further away. That's how he got out.
Yeah. You guys see me laughing. These things are old. But if you think about like the way Jimmy said, the way you described it, I could just think of a little, like, anybody, a little Jewish guy, the way you said it, like running after you guys to get robbed. It's a funny, very funny thought. And it's crazy because there's somebody in the chat. I won't get into it, but I happen to tell him a story about a situation with the same thing. It was like a little, it's similar, but anyway, I got something good for you. I'm going to get you now. I want to know more about Atlantic City. I want to know about some things in Atlantic City. Because I've seen you with your card tricks. I've read comments. People reach out to me and tell me you were the best they've ever seen with as far as dealing, doing certain things with cards. I've seen some stuff. I want to talk to you about some of the schemes with card counting, some of the nights in Atlantic City. Can you share some of this?
Oh, well, I set the record there. It was Halloween night of 1983. It was the Golden Nugget. See, when you come off the Parkway to go to Atlantic City, as you're going on the expressway, it was Route 42, I believe. As you're heading in, as you see the skyline of all the hotels. Well, the Golden Nugget at the time was all the way to the right. Then it became Bally's Grand about 2 years or 3 years later or whatever. And I happened to be in there. Now, card counting is not that hard to do. You have to practice so you don't get a headache. You have to do it like so much. You have a basic strategy to follow. Like 5, 6, 7 always hit. 6 and 2 always hit. If you have a 9, you double down if dealer has 2 through 9, otherwise hit. Like all these rules, you have to know that, and based on what the count is, you know how to alter that play. to know if there's either a low number card coming out or if there's going to be a high number card coming out. So you follow me? The first system was by Dr. Thorpe called Beat the Dealer. And that book is shown in the movie 21 with Kevin Spacey about those kids from MIT. It's all true. So that was based off of there. But the real book that I learned from was taken from Dr. Thorpe, but it's called Playing Blackjack as a Business by Lawrence Revere, Lyle Stewart publisher. And in that book, you'll see all the charts on what point you have a count system, a true count, a point count system. But I just did the basic, and I just waited for a high plus count, which means all the cards that have been out, that means a lot of cards like 2 through 6 have been seen. So if these low cards have been more out, and you see on the side that this much, about half the six, at that time it was only 4 decks. So at that time I saw 2 decks. I see 2 decks already used. I know that in those 2 decks that is ready to come out of the shoe, it's got to be rich, full of picture cards, because it's common sense, because they're not going to be on the moon, right? And you sail it, bang. Within 2 hours, 2.5 hours, they wanted to give me the world. I won $386,000. I'm gonna say it again, $386,000. When I went to cash out, I had racks, wooden racks, with that holds all the chips. There's like maybe like eight columns in it or whatever. But my chips were all purple. They were $500 each. I had I don't know how many racks I had. When I went to the cage, they said, James, can you step back for a minute? I said, I'm not leaving nowhere. This is my money. They wanted the eye in the sky to take my picture, and then 4 guys came. 2 of them were pit bosses. 2 of them were uniformed security men, and the other 3 guys, I don't even know who they were. But one of the guys take a 3x5 index card from his inside lapel and said, "You are to be considered a professional blackjack card counter. You will not play blackjack in our casino. You will now leave the casino. If you try to play blackjack or enter the casino, we'll arrest you as a disorderly person. You're allowed to play any other game in the casino except the game of blackjack." He goes, "Have a good night. Pick up your money." With that, I wired $200,000 to my ABA number in my bank account. At the time was in Nutley, New Jersey. That's when it was. And I sat there, got my mom and dad their first condo with that, which was nice, good boy. And I stayed there for like 2.5 weeks. They're giving me the moon, Craig. They're giving me everything because they want me to lose that money back. So I went to roulette. So what I was doing was I was waiting for 3 colors in a row to come out, and then I would bet the opposite color. So if 3 reds came out, I figured, well, a black is due. Then I would bet black, and then I got another 66,000 from. So now I said, I'm getting more. Yeah, no, but this was like a couple days later. So now I didn't even want to eat there anymore. Like the Capriccio was good, another place I would eat in. I said, "What happens if I don't want to? I want to get a meal somewhere else." He goes, "No problem, sir." He goes, "Just bring us the receipt, go to the will call window, and we'll give it back to you in chips." No problem. Now, Boom Boom Mancini, this was the night, I think, when he fought that guy Kim. It was an Oriental. He killed him. He killed the guy in the ring. Yeah, that right. You remember that fight? Yep. So I wanted to see the Mancini fight, but before that, I wanted a Pistol Pete's hot dog from Point Pleasant. I said, I want a hot dog first. They said, "Okay, no problem, sir. We'll let the limousine." I said, No. I said, "I want to bring me in the helicopter, land on top of the Mid-Atlantic office of the bank in the center of town." I says, I want to get back for the fight." Would you believe they actually paid a pilot $1,500 to fly me on the top of the roof of the Mid-Atlantic Bank in Point Pleasant, New Jersey, just so I can eat a hot dog and get back in time?
I totally No, I know that to be a fact, but I knew some high stakes gamblers that they weren't wise guys, but they were around things, but they weren't wise guys. But they had money, and they would go to Atlantic City, and they would send limousines to Queensville, sometimes helicopter. They, not me, but I was in Atlantic City a lot. I was a lifetime loser with gambling. I love craps. I went from roulette. I graduated to craps, and I had somebody that had a casino. He owned the land on the reservations the way they were putting these casinos in California. And he told me one day I'm with him out in California, and he was a Native American guy. But if you would have met him, you would have thought he was around Mongol wise guys. But anyway, he said to me one day, he goes, Fred, you like to gamble? So I'm in California. He said, yeah. He goes, what do you play? I said, well, roulette, but I've been playing dice. He said, first of all, you're going to lose everything. The only game you could play that you could possibly make money, and that's only if you learn how to count cards, is blackjack. Otherwise, every game is designed for you to lose. That's why the dice, seven, most people play their number. So if the five, you draw the five, you're betting your point, you're betting with yourself, but the combination of seven is going to come out more than anything. So the only way you can win, he says, if you become a wrong way better, bet against yourself. It might make sense to people, but the game
Yeah,
that was the blackjack probability, you had to learn how to count cards, which would be very hard for me.
yeah. When you said when you said a wrong way, we would say you're just a don't
Wrong way
better.
better, right?
You would lay it. You would lay it against the
Yep,
all. Once the number was established, then you would lay it. You have to
yep,
lay a little higher to get true odds. Like
absolutely,
like a, like a few like a 10 and a 4 is 2 to 1. So you would have
absolutely,
to lay double the amount to win.
absolutely.
That's once that number is established.
Absolutely. And then if you take a 10 and you got a knucklehead like me, I'm betting a hard 10 every roll. I'm going to make it hard. So it was a nightmare. It just didn't work for me. I loved it, but nightmare. Um, we transitioned. Well, actually, there's one more thing with the card counting. Did you have to be? I know we've had this conversation, but I just want to get just one more thing on the card counting. How close would you have to be before? How long would it take before you could say, "All right, I got it down. I'm ready to make my bet." So, like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and would you have to be put on the table, or you could do it from, like, say, across the room, above, low? You know what I mean? Could you read it from the count?
No, I would count like in Resorts International, above the baccarat area was a lounge, and it was on that a little bit higher. So when you sat there at the tables, I could look down and I could look at the two $25 blackjack tables, and I was counting both tables at the same time because
Gotcha.
I'm doing. Because I was doing it so much. I mean, I used to live there. I used to be there so much. So then at that time, they allowed you to have a mid-shoe entry. Now they don't have, now they say no mid-shoe entry. In other words, you have to be there from the conception of the first shuffle when they
Yeah.
start dealing to have a seat. You can't, but what I did was I looked from on top, and then when I saw the count go up, and I would go down, bang, 1,000, bang, 500, boom, boom, and then catch blackjack or whatever, and then take my bet off, and then go back upstairs and wait till it looked good again. Oh, there's so
Amazing.
many ways you can
That's
get them.
incredible. I mean, you had to be good with freaking numbers and do that, but what a scam. Amazing. And that's amazing amount of money to win. And actually, you answered the question. I figured for sure, street guy, that kind of money. I was going to say, how long, Jimmy, before you pissed it away? But it was great to hear that you used it smartly and were able to do something smart with it. Because I would have been that guy to put it
Well,
all.
well, well, I enjoyed. I always enjoyed myself. Like I got when I ran the labor union. I used to be out 6 nights a week. Like, and I'd be in New York every night. I'd be at Sparks Steakhouse. I'd be there 3 times a week. Walter and Rami were the two maitre d's there. They would be in a tuxedo all the time, and they were like my buddies. They knew me so much. Christ, and all the waiters would argue who was going to take care of me because I remember I went there one night. It was with my lady at the time, and it was my cousin and her husband. No, her sister and her husband, and then my cousin and me. It was five of us. The bill came out to $940. So I left a $250 tip. You know, so it should have been 180. I always leave 20% or more. You know.
Yeah.
But
I'm glad you brought up Sparks, because Sparks became obviously very popular, even more so after the Castellano thing. And I ate in Sparks many years after that. And I remember, well, like, my favorite steakhouse, and this isn't about steaks, guys, but my favorite steakhouse in Manhattan was Smith and Walensky's, or the Old Homestead. Have you ever had steak in there? If
yes,
not,
yeah.
you did. Okay, so I love the Homestead. For whatever reason, I love the Old Homestead. But I remember eating in Sparks. I'll never forget their wine list was crazy. I'd never seen a wine list
Oh
like
yeah.
that. That's really a big thing for them.
Well, it would. I'd always get a bottle of wine, like Chateau Pinchon de Longueville de Lalande. It was called. It was such a long name, but it was
Yeah,
so good though. And I like you had Barola,
yeah,
Giacomo Conterno, Giacomo Borgogno. You had there was so many lines. I mean, so many wines. And then you had there was only one white wine that I liked, and it was Montrachet, not Pugny or Castagni Montrachet. It was just Le Montrachet. But it says the Grand Cru. It was the best harvest, I guess, and it said it was by the Jacques Saint Domingue label. In a liquor store, that bottle goes for, like, if you buy it in a liquor store, it's like $200 in a liquor store. So what it is in a restaurant, it's like 400 in a restaurant.
yeah. That's great. I just wanted to, you brought Sparks up. I just wanted to get your opinion on steak. But I want to ask you, we'll transition from being hungry now, thinking about a good piece of steak. You talked about some thought counting, and great insight, incredible. I mean, how you can count like that and pull that off, awesome. Uh, you had some other things, because as I'm getting to know you, as I see it, your thing before you got established with the union and all of that stuff, your thing was really taking jobs, whether it be counting cards, stealing safes, money, whatever. You ever been
Oh,
involved in any bank? You ever do any bank jobs? Did you? Let's
oh
see.
yeah. Well, oh yeah. In other words, not going to the bank with no stick up. No, I would do very sophisticated. In other words, I'm a master with paper at the time. See, the checks, I had like four different companies already formed with the corporate resolution, and I'd open up bank accounts with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you got a bank account at First Fidelity Bank, and you have it under, I had like Miss American Beauty, Locations Unlimited, where I would get locations for all motion pictures and all that. Then I would get a fee to sign them up too. Oh, that was another one that I did. Oh man, people are starstruck, so I would tap right into that, because either the thrill of Hollywood either gets them or it doesn't, and they always would. Oh, you mean they want to use our play? Yes, they do. That's $100 fee though, but at least you got part of their insurance in case an actor falls down. If he was out of work, he could sue for a lot more, but you'd be part of our rider. We'll take care of it. Oh no, just 100. Well, where do I sign? It was perfect. So these are like companies that I had. So now here's what you do. You got to create the illusion of money being there. So what happens is I'll take company A, I'll write a check for, let's say, 6,000 or 8,000 something, always under 10. And then I make that check, I deposit it in the other bank that I have an account for company B, let's say. So when I put that in there, now let's say it was the Howard Bank at the time. The Howard Bank at the time had a rule. It only took four working days for your check to clear, and then the funds had to be available to you. So by the first time the check comes, it gets stamped insufficient funds naturally, but then they have to put it through a second time. And then it says, then it gets stamped, do not present again, which means they cannot try to get that payment again. Then it goes back to the person and say, listen, this check is no good if you can collect the money from the guy you do. But that never happens when it came to me. Once I made the illusion that the money was there at the Howard Bank, the fourth day, as soon as the money was there, then I would just go there, write a check from that account and for that amount and just draw it right out. Just leave $10 in there. So, and what happened was when they finally found out what I was doing, they wanted to bring me to Nutley Municipal Court. They were so embarrassed. They didn't want nobody else to probably figure this out or hear about it. They just said, listen, just sign this promissory note that you'll pay us back someday. I said, yeah, no problem.
You can't make it go priceless. So that's crazy. It kind of transitions to my next one. I actually should have went before with it, but it actually plays into it. You made some big money. You made some big scores. You had a lot of different things going, a lot of different scores. I get it. You ate in a lot of restaurants. You ever get a bill, Jimmy? Talk to me about some of the bills.
Oh, well, in other words, here's what I did. I used to love going to restaurants. So I'm sitting down one day and I says, how can I have a way to go to a restaurant and don't pay? How can I do this? I thought about it. I says, I got it. I went out and I got stationery. On the stationery looks beautiful, gold embossed. It says W.B. Morris and Associates. I would send letters out to all these famous restaurants that are in the tri-state area saying, as a worker here in our office at New Jersey Magazine or New York Magazine, we are, one of our representatives will be coming there to dine, and in preparation for your possible 4-star rating, we will be there. Thus, not surprising you, we're letting you know this way you can put your best foot forward, type of thing. So now, when I made the reservation, and I'm saying from the Jersey Magazine, they go, oh, you're the guy. Oh, yeah, no, we got your table all set. Ready. I would come in there in the back. They give me free wine, everything. And then I say, all right, let me have the check. Oh, no, sir, no check here. No, only one place did it. Only one place. But I had the money anyway. Made me want to pay. And I found out it was a friend of ours. It was a wise guy.
Yeah,
I had to pay that.
I got somebody. I just want to ask you this. Dex Dallas wanted you to know, and I got a bunch of comments from a gentleman. He uses the name of the beast, and he's had nothing but amazing things to say to let you know about your dad being away with him and stuff like that. And I get that a lot. I just want to pass those things along to you. But something I told this gentleman I will mention. Do you remember something called the Surf Club in your area of Jersey?
The what club?
The Surf Club.
Oh, sure. Okay. They had one down the shore. I forget where. I think it was Seaside or Ortley or somewhere. And then Joey Harrison had the one in Clifton. He opened up another one in Clifton. Now that place, because I would go with Cabert a lot. He loved us so much. He had only maybe 20 people total. They got a gold key. It looks like almost like a car key, but it was all gold, but not 14 karat, but 14 karat plated, and it had his insignia on it with an anchor on it or whatever, and that was his insignia on it. And he gave one to Cabert that night, and he gave me one, which means anytime you go in there, all you do is show that key. You don't get a tab.
Yeah,
You don't
don't
get a
feel
cover charge. You eat for free, everything. Oh, man, I used to bring so many dates and then just walk in oh, man, the way I would be treated, this would be so impressive to a young lady. It was really impressive
the
stuff. But
reason
sure,
why
yeah, no,
the reason one
Joey
of the
Bar,
reasons
yeah, it was Joey. His name was Joey
yeah,
Barcelona. Yeah.
yeah, I think he passed away and that person wanted you to know. Did you hear that he had passed away?
Oh, yeah, I heard it. Yeah, I heard
Yeah,
it. You sure?
yeah. So I gave him my word I would ask that question to you. And I wanted to make
Right.
sure I got it. Another one from my friend Dex Dallas here, who I know for many, many years since we're children. Um, he said a very dear friend of his did time with Convert, and his friend, I believe he's still alive, his old timer, said, "A man's man. What a guy! What a guy that he was away with. Had nothing but amazing things to say about him. Nothing but amazing things
Oh,
to say." I just wanted to share with you. That's all. These things that come in that sometimes I'll forget, and I want to share them with you. That, believe me, we can. I want to tell everybody now. Maybe we can do something because we're gonna be together a lot. We discuss it, but you could go. I mean, there's so much we have years of stories that we're going to go through. But what I'm saying is, maybe we could do something where everybody during the week, Michael Hawaii sends in a question, and maybe we can just pick a bunch of questions, do like a Q&A one night. Maybe not tonight, but I just want to ask you those couple. You don't have an interest,
sure,
right?
sure, sure. Yeah, sure. I'll play along. I'll be helpful to anybody who has questions. Of course, of
All
course.
right.
I don't worry about nothing. I'll withstand any question.
You understand
And
any question
but
to
you
me?
know, Craig, it's getting to be that time, where I have to
I know. I'm
because
looking at. I see the ticker. I see the ticker. I know you're getting hungry. I can hear the hunger pain from here.
no, well, I ordered something because I all day long I didn't get a chance to eat all day, and I wanted to be
Anything good?
hungry to for your show.
Anything
I
good?
wanted to be hungry.
Anything good? Little pasta vagul, maybe plantain on top. I don't know.
No, 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 no. I just got a friend of mine that has a restaurant. He did the lobster the way I like it, Fra Diablo.
Oh, I
But
love it.
the
I love it.
claws are so big. Oh, but the way he does it, like they do in Sparks, like Sparks, they actually take out within 2 minutes. They'll remove every bit of meat from a lobster, the claws and all, and then take away the red shells and leave you with a pile of meat and then the 2 cups of drawn butter. But that's how my friend does it, and that's what I'm looking forward to for
I'm
tonight.
getting hungry, and I'm getting hungry. One thing before you go, there's a guy from my neighborhood, Flushing, Queens. He did his time. I think Dex is asking me, and I hope to have Louis on this show eventually, shortly. We're working on that, so I can't promise it, but we're trying to have it. He was around you guys. He's my age, New York guy though. His name's Louis Ferranti. He wanted to do it 12 years, never cooperated. He was with Pete on the Queen side. He was a big hijacking guy. He's got books out there. He's all over doing his thing, but he never said a word. He said, "I'd rather die than be a rat." Have you ever heard of Louis? Now I know it's a lot of people, but I guess that's why. Have you ever been away? Did you ever hear of who you were away with Lou, or did you? I know Jersey now are always with the Queens guys, around New York guys.
No, to me, his name sounds familiar, but a lot of guys I know by either just sight or I
Yeah,
might know them by a nickname. It's weird, but we know so many people
yeah,
once you're on the inside, but a lot of times you don't really know everybody because it's just kind of impossible. There's a lot of guys out there, and especially these guys. Once they straighten somebody out, they'll wait 2 years before you even know who the hell the guy is. It's weird the way they do things, but that's how this guy was. I'm talking about now.
absolutely. No, but Louis was around you guys, and one day, and it's going to happen. I'm going to have Louis on the show with you, and you guys can reminisce about your old family, and he was the same kind of guy as you. Did his time, kept his mouth shut.
No,
He was he was a
when you
hijacker,
first said Louis, I thought you meant Louis Facini.
Louis
Because
Ferrandi.
I know, I knew it. No, yeah, I know, but I knew this kid. I knew his father and everything, and his father loved my dad. But again, I want to save a little bit. I want to
Go ahead. Yes,
savor
absolutely. I want to thank you. I love you, brother. Chat
the.
loves you, and we'll talk like we always do tomorrow and the next day, and we
Yes,
keep on moving forward, brother. Right?
you're my brother, and I'm there for you, and I love you, pal. You take
Thank you.
care.
Feeling is mutual. Love you
Uh,
too, and we'll talk,
good
brother. Be
seeing
well. Thank you so much
good
for the
seeing
show.
everybody tonight. Goodbye, everybody.
Awesome.
Bye.
Hey guys, I'm glad everybody stuck around. I hope you enjoyed the chat. I just it's not a big deal, but I just you guys are the community, and I think it's only right that I share this with you guys. You notice I'm solo tonight, not solo. Um, Unfortunately, you have these people that have nothing better to do, such as I shouldn't even give them air to breathe. So I won't even mention his name. But for your comment, and you know what you said, he was talking about your mother. That's who he was talking about. I apologize to you guys now. Now, anyway, Tony and me have decided that it's well. I, we could say it's mutual. I'm sure he feels the same. Um, he decided that it's probably best to go and do his own thing, and that's fine. That's great. That's awesome. I wish him nothing but the best. Uh, I I know him for a lot of years, um, but just certain things have come to my attention that I'm not aware of, and they were sent to me. And you know, I'm not big on. It's not a big thing, but I know you guys. Where's Tony? Where's Tony? Well, you know, it's not a good feeling to have to tell somebody you got to go. And I'm sure he's neutral, and I'm sure whoever loves Tony and doesn't want to come and check out the show, I get it. I understand it. No, I get it. But we're gonna do what we have to do, and it's onward and upward. That's all I'm going to say about that. You guys know better than me. I'm only doing this 4 months, whatever, 4.5, 5 months. I don't know, not long. So there's all this YouTube drama. Um, when it lands on my doorstep, and just certain things, it's, just time to go on. That's all. And we all go our separate way and hope everybody's happy. Tony's great at what he does. He'll have another show, I'm sure. See no evil. No, he didn't give me any questions to ask, bro. Um, but that's it. Sure you guys see him somewhere on YouTube. I think he had a show tonight at exactly 8:30. But that's that. We still got plenty of shows, plenty of things coming up. You're also going to see Jimmy a lot more. Um, Timmy, how are you? You're going to see Jimmy a lot more. Jimmy's going to have a seat. Um, there's a couple of people that I was hoping was here, but I don't see them. I'll say some. Chris Gorky will be involved with our football draft show that we do. Boxing show will continue as always, and the train keeps going. Even if I'm not here, somebody will be doing something, and the train's going to go on. The train keeps moving. That's that. But I owe it to my community, to this community, to the people that came here, of why I'm by myself today. And that's really what it is. I'm not here, you know. I'm just here to tell you guys he won't be here, and so I don't want you to think that no, he's not going to be here. And, the feeling is mutual, and that is that. And if there's any questions that you want answered, it's simple. It's a nightmare on YouTube, which I choose to be no part of that drama. So fortunately tonight there was only one moron that came in here, and you know People are just people. You can't control what you know. I've said this many times. Whether it be in the workforce or living in like, the street and being doing their bad things, you can see somebody. You can get a feel for somebody. You can look in their eyes. So these trolls that have been coming in here for the last 2 months and just hammering away, I had no problem just swatting them away and not really understanding a lot that's going on behind the scenes long before I got into YouTube. And that doesn't play, that really didn't play a part in any of this because I care less about anything pre me. There's a long history. It's just creatively, we'll use that. We'll just keep it at that. Creatively, we have different ideas. And he's going to do great, I'm sure, but it won't be over here. And again, you can go to YouTube and see why, but that's that. And I'll stay here and rap to you guys all night. Um, thanks. No, I just feel like I feel an obligation because when you um, say that you know somebody for so long, which I did, I do, um, it could be anybody. Could have been somebody's family, and it doesn't. Bottom line is, it's only so much that. All right, keep getting away. But when you have others that you trust what they're seeing and saying dearly, and they're starting to question why I'm allowing certain things when there's a whole fucking treasure trove of stuff going on, even when you're on this show. So we can't have that. So if I say I believe this show is going to be about not promoting certain things, well, I don't want any nonsense on here either. And I owe it to you guys that sub to this channel. And if there's anybody that subbed while Tony was part of this, I understand. I get it. Came because of Tony. And if you stay, thank you. If not, I get that too. I always said, whether I'm talking to one or 100, we're going to talk. And I had to, it wasn't an easy conversation talking to Jimmy today. I introduced them, and you just move forward. But you got to be a man when you make a mistake, and that's on me. And Tony's a very creative guy. He's amazing at what he does. I'm not as articulate, you know. I'll give him Tony credit for that. But the other stuff, and I won't get into it, I'm not going to be part of, and that's that. But I hope you guys want to, if you guys want to talk about anything else, man, just throw it up there. It's been a while since I've been, I'll play some music. I don't give a shit about getting copyrighted. We're not monetized anyway. So, but Jimmy is going to be. We were going to talk about it a little tonight, but Jimmy is going to be part of this show on a more regular basis. Whether it be, we're talking about his stuff, we're just talking about hot topic shit, current events, whatever. Jimmy's a very well spoken man, well, very bright. And the sports stuff will continue like it always has. Um, and I don't know, maybe this will be maybe a little bit more motivation to even do more, you know. Uh, and that's that. But I just want to thank everybody for sticking around. Yeah, Chris, I hear you, brother. Yeah, I don't, I'll answer that. I'm not into that, Chris. I'll put it up so you can see it. I'm not into that. There's nothing about me that's into that. And I'm not gonna let it breathe. So that's that. I hope I keep seeing. Thank you, Dave. I hope I keep seeing everybody. Our boxing shows are going to get better. Credit Tony for that. Tony's idea. Um, and I agree. As you guys know, I let Tony came on here, and I put my go and try decide if that's what it is. I don't know. And I took no problem. I sit back and play Anchorman. I no problem. So it has nothing to do with egos and stuff like that. Just creative and some other things. It's just time that you go. But we're gonna grow. Good or bad, we're gonna grow. Still not gonna play it. And I want to make this clear to the trolls out there, especially the one guy that we chased before. Any trolls that got nothing better to do, I get it. You had a target here that you wanted to come after. You put videos up. That's what you get off on. Good for you. But Tony is not here because I'm listening to you trolls. That's not what's happening. We're moving forward, and that's that. With that being said, thank you all. Love you guys. DX, good to see you back in the house, my brother. You ready? Roro G. Hey, we can go on. You guys want to hear some music? We'll play some music. I don't give a shit. Let's go. Absolutely. You guys want to hear anything? You want to talk about anything? You want to ask me any questions about anything but what we just discussed? Um, we can discuss anything. I feel like I don't want to give you guys just a little bit of a show. Let's shoot the shit. What do you guys want to see? Tell me. We got boxing shows every week. Right now we're in the middle of a draft series, NFL draft, getting ready for the NFL draft. We got Jimmy every Friday. I want to respect the other guys um, that have their shows during the day. I never want to step on nobody or take away from their shows. I can because a lot of the group comes here. So I have number of respect for them, regardless of who knows what's said, behind closed doors. But I'm here to just any questions ask me, and I'll answer them. Um, Bro, G, what's happening? White Phone Girl in the house. Did Chris get a job as a football commentator? Yeah, we're working on it, Roro. I want to see Tony Romo fired. Chris knows. Timmy, thank you so much, brother. Thank you, Timmy. This week we got two of them. I got to keep up to the word with that. We got two boxing shows coming up this week. Um, that's right, Evil. Roro G, getting back to Tony Romo and Chris. We're trying to get Gorky a gig, but unfortunately, he's got to do an internship on this show. So he can't get a gig with CBS or anything until he passes the test here. And he has to break a few more lamps. Chris knows that. We spoke earlier. He's got to, get upset again and break some more lamps. Yeah, Chris knows the game. Um, and that's exactly, what we're talking about. If we're going to talk about something, we're going to, we're going to know what we're talking about. And that's it. It's all good. Um, Steve Lenahan. I don't know. I have no idea. Question mark. Joey Scour. It's all good. I wish I understood what you were saying, but I'll do that. I don't know. Matty, what's up, bud? Cinnamon Girl. Yeah, and you guys participate big time in those shows, and I love the fact that you're here. They'll continue. We're gonna have great ones, and believe me, there'll be a boxing guy here. I could do it. I chose not to, but I'm going to have another boxing guy here breaking it round by round. There's about 12 guys in the chat that can do it. But maybe we'll have a professional fighter come on and do it. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe we'll see. Yeah, maybe we can make that happen. Yeah, Bro G says, Grace, break a lamp, flip a coffee, people. We've all been there, Paul. Let it out. I told you, Chris, it's all good, man. Sometimes, I'll tell you a quick one. My father was crazy with dress up. So if he was going out and he would call my mother and say, get out this, get out that, get out. So he had like 20 pairs of dress socks. And one particular day, we were young, and the whole drawer of dress socks went out the first floor window because a certain pair of socks couldn't be found. Whatever. But yeah. So Chris, I understand about. I've had many mental breakdowns. Pal, lost my temper. It's all right, buddy. It's all right, buddy. We're going to talk you off the ledge. You got it, Davey. Keep rolling, brother Davey. I told you, I want to give you a link. You don't have to, you can use the avatar, whatever you want to do. It's easy. Listen, I figured this shit out, and this was forget it. Brett from New York Farm Spot with or Saks, they would try to help me with stuff. Um, Even Chad Moss from Blood on the Razor TV, actually it was bad because Chad was asking me for some help, and I'm like, "Whoa, that's bad when you're asking me for help." Like I couldn't even make a thumbnail, and these guys were willing to help me out. I couldn't figure none of it out. Tommy Sticks helped me with how to get on your posts, how to get them to be seen. I thought people were seeing them. I got you, DX. Good to see you back, man. We got a draft show either Monday or Tuesday night. I'll get with the crew, the sideline scout, Gorky, and we'll have a great draft show and then boxing during the week. We got 2 shows of boxing this week. I think if you guys want to tell me in the comments in the chats, we could go over those fights again, but I think we have them picked out. See no evil. I hope to see you, bud. You well, man. Thanks for coming in. Always a pleasure. It was hard to keep up. I did learn one thing. I forget. Uh, it was good though, but when you engaged in the conversation, it's hard to keep up with the chat. So I don't want anybody to think I was ignoring it. I was never a great multitasker. My old man used to say I couldn't shoot gun and walk at the same time. So yeah, he's probably right. Bro, G, what up? Everybody good? Kelly, Cinnamon Girl, Matt, BX, Gorky, I need to talk to you tomorrow at ABC. Everybody that came in, see no evil, Timmy Irish, um, William and Brooklyn was here earlier, Jimmy D, of course. Everybody, I don't want to miss anybody's name. I hate Matt Michael. Good to see you, pal. Hope you enjoyed the show. Dex, of course, my man. Full green light, thank you. You know, I hope we can just keep doing what we do. Joey Blunt, drama free zone, Wyatt Earp, thank you. And that's that. We can go monthly, we go about our business and just do our own thing, stay in our lane. Because that's what we're going to do here. We stay in our lane. You stay in yours, right? But that's good. I hope everybody had a great night. A little short tonight. I had no problem with staying here, but if there's nothing pressing you guys want to, you know, go over, I'd say, but tonight we good, right? And I hope to see whoever Tuesday um, during the boxing stuff. And I want to thank everybody for coming in. We had a great time, another great show with Jimmy. And I thank you all. Keep the comments coming, good, bad, or indifferent. Keep them coming because I'll answer them. Always do. All right? Be well. God bless. Take care of your loved one. You know how I feel about that. Keep an eye. It's a crazy world we live in. Keep an eye on everybody. This is a crazy world we live in. And I hope to see you guys during the week.